Welcome to this episode of Red Cape Learning. Today we're going to go over the 27-inch iMac 2020 edition. The goal of this video is for me to let you know whether or not I think this is a good buy, and even more specifically, if you're a video editor, do I recommend this computer? Right here, we're going to have a list of the different topics that we're going to be covering in this video, specifically everything from the processor all the way to the RAM. As a side note, I am probably a little more biased towards Apple products, but that's because I've been using them ever since the first MacBook Pro. I remember when that laptop came out, it had everything that you needed to have a nice mobile computer that was powerful, lightweight, that you could actually use wherever you went. That laptop was extremely revolutionary at the time. I believe it was a single or dual core computer. But anyways, ever since then, I've always leaned a little bit more towards Apple. Phones have been a little bit iffy, but for the past 5 to 10 years, I've been using Apple products. So I like the ecosystem. And if you already have an iPhone, this is gonna benefit you well. And we'll get into a couple reasons why as well. So if you don't know, I edit videos almost every day. I run 3 different YouTube channels that I produce, and then I also produce tons of online content for online educational courses that I sell on Udemy. When it comes to editing, you kind of need to check off all the marks. You need to have a good processor, the RAM has to be there, and the graphics, which we're going to discuss in a little bit, is got to be something that has to work for you with your workflow. So coming off of a 15-inch MacBook Pro quad core, I believe it was a 2011 or 2012 edition, this is a major upgrade for me. Having the 5K Retina display has been incredible. I didn't realize that that would be my favorite aspect to this computer, and in fact, Apple did do another refresh. I believe that you have an even better monitor now. I'm not sure if it's brighter, but this one is amazing. So this computer is going to come with a 27-inch Retina display. I'm basically coming off of a 1920 by 1080 HD monitor, and I'm upgrading all the way to a 27-inch 5K display. Because I shoot so much content, especially in 4K, it's been nice, and I can also tell the color differences. There seems to be a lot more contrast. The colors are much more accurate. After exporting videos, when I play it back on this specific monitor, I can tell that the resolution's there, the dynamic range is just popping a little bit more. It seems to be a pretty good monitor in my opinion. So the monitor number 1, I would say that it's fantastic. So number 2, let's get into the processor and speed. Again, I believe with the refresh you can get a 10-core, 20-thread CPU, but this CPU has been pretty good. I need something that's fast, and especially with video editing and data, you need tons of speed. So the processor I went with is a 3.6 gigahertz, 8-core Intel i9 processor. I haven't found any issues, and one thing that kind of caught me off guard is that it's super cool. So compared to my MacBook Pro, it used to always make noise. The fans would just kick in all the time, but for whatever reason, this computer is the quietest computer that I've ever used, and it's been quite impressive. For me, the processor, as long as it's a quad core or better, I don't really notice it too much if I'm going to be honest. I do have an SSD in there. I believe connected with eSATA, they're going to be over 500 megabytes per second. I have no issues with that. But again, it's going to be the graphics that we're going to get into next, where this computer really takes things to the next level if you're editing specifically. I was super excited when upgrading to a desktop because I knew that I can get a dedicated graphics card. So specifically, I went with the Radeon Pro 580X, and I ended up getting 8 gigabytes of graphics memory. This is one thing that has saved me a lot of time. So when rendering your computer, if you have a lot of graphics, it's going to be able to dedicate that memory to just render the heck out of your videos. So when I'm coloring my 4K footage, when I'm adding LUTs and making adjustments in Final Cut Pro, I've seen a huge difference compared to my MacBook Pro. I knew the graphics would be the most important upgrade, specifically for graphic design and a lot of my editing. Rendering 4K video isn't always easy, especially for me. I like to shoot ungraded and apply my own LUTs and colors in post. So I've noticed a big difference. This graphics card handles things very well. I find that I can edit and render quite swiftly with this graphics card. Next on the list, we have our RAM. So RAM is going to be your random access memory. This is going to help you with the multitasking, and this is kind of a weaker point of this computer. I know that in the back near the I/O, you can upgrade this yourself. The DDR4 8 gigs of RAM that I have, that this model came with at the time, 8 gigs is fine for most things. But again, when I'm editing and I have a couple of things open, especially if I have more than 10 or 12 tabs open, it will crash eventually. So I do have to be aware of that. It's something that I can upgrade, and it's relatively cheap. It'll probably just cost me 100 to 200 bucks to upgrade to something that's more appropriate for when I'm getting into crazy editing mode. So is 8 gigabytes enough RAM? It is, even when you're editing, but if you're gonna multitask to the point where maybe you're a crazy person like me and you like to have like 30 tabs open, even 20, it could crash on you. So if you're doing 4K editing and you have a lot of tabs open, you may want to upgrade to maybe 32 gigabytes of RAM. And I believe that you can go up to 128. I've seen YouTubers do it. So again, DDR4, and I believe it's 2600 megahertz is what you need as well. I'll put a link in the description below if you're looking to upgrade some RAM. Next on the list is going to be the software. So the current version I have is Mac OS Catalina, and this is version 10.15.7. I kind of love it. It's pretty good. Same features. I do like the ease of use of this computer. Again, it comes with the keyboard, the magic mouse. Of course, why is the charger there? I feel like every time I charge the mouse, Steve Jobs is just over my shoulder thinking like, you know, why did we design it this way? But anyways, there's got to be a reason why they're still doing that. Anyways, I do love the mouse and I do like the keyboard. It's not my favorite. I would say that they're both good, not great or fantastic, but definitely better than the 8 gigabytes of RAM. I feel like that's probably the worst part about this computer experience. And one of the final things that I just didn't get to is the I/O. So it's going to be the ports on the back. You get a headphone jack. There's a card reader there. There's 4 USB 3.0s. There are 2 Thunderbolts and also a 1 gig Ethernet port on there. And so I've got a NAS hooked up to this computer. I find that it's pretty quick. It's pretty legit actually. Maybe I should do an episode on that in the near future. So I got 72 terabytes of storage that's hooked right up to the computer via internet. So that's pretty amazing. I find that the Thunderbolt's pretty good. I'm able to hook up a second monitor, so I'm running dual monitors, and in fact I can add a third with my other port as well. So do I recommend this computer? Do I like it? Well, looking at the refresh, 100%. I think Apple's finally getting to a point where you're not paying too much of that Apple tax. I was looking into buying a PC and building one. I mean, I could definitely get a more powerful PC compared to this computer for even what I paid. However, I like the Apple ecosystem. I like the way it looks. The fact that it comes with a 5K Retina display, I think that alone is just 12 to 1500 bucks. So again, this is going to be a yes for me. If you are an editor, I've been pretty happy with it. The one thing I would say is that I recommend getting more RAM. Maybe get a third-party RAM. On Apple's website, they even tell you how you can upgrade that yourself. For me, I'm probably gonna end up getting like 64 gigabytes of dedicated RAM. So I do so much with it. I use this computer every day. I hope you liked this video. If you wanna see more videos like this, smash the like button, comment, and ask us what you would like to see in the near future. Also, don't be afraid to subscribe. And we also have tons of online courses, anything photo, video, and design related. We will see you guys next week.